Hi, Tony Asia with you here today. Glad to give you another installment of my weekly newsletter. Hope your Thanksgiving was a good one. There's something that I come across occasionally. It's a particular type of chord, and it's not something that we use a lot, but it's something that when you need to use it, there's really no good substitute for the chord. And yet a lot of us may see it symbolized but not know what it really means. And the type of chord I'm speaking about is an augmented chord. Now you may see when you're reading chord tablature, you may see an A or a G, whatever the key, whatever the chord is supposed to be, followed by a plus sign. Well, if you see that plus sign, that means it's an augmented chord. And what an augmented chord is, without getting too technical, is that the fifth in the chord, which a chord is made up of traditionally a 1, a 3, and a 5, and those are notes in the chord. So if you were playing in the key of C, C would be the 1 note, C, D, E would be the 3 note, E, F, G would be the 5 note. 1, 3, 5. C, E, G would be your chordal traditional notes in the key of C. If you see a C with a plus after it, that's an augmented chord. And what that means is that you take that 5 note, which would be that G note, and you raise it a half step. So instead of you having C, E, G, you're going to have C, E, G sharp. And it's, again, there's kind of no good substitute for it. So I'm going to play a C chord and go through what we just explained here. And I'll do some tight shots as well after I do this, but at least I want you to hear what this sounds like. Here is a regular C chord. Now I'm going to augment that fifth. You obviously can hear that, right? So we went from, okay, it's going somewhere. It gives you some tension. You can't leave it there. And a lot of times what happens is that fifth just keeps getting raised. So the next note would be going from the augmented note, which is the 5 sharp. Now it goes to the 6th. Okay, so now you're going to be up on an A. So this is what it would sound like. C, C augmented, C6, C 7th, C dominant 7th. Okay? And then typically it'll go to a different chord, maybe, you know, an F or something like that. But you can do that obviously in any key. I'm going to go down to a G chord here. Okay? G augmented, G6, G dominant 7, otherwise known as G7. Same thing. Okay, so I just wanted to familiarize you with anytime you're reading any kind of, you know, tabs. If you may see a chord with a plus after it, you'll know that that means an augmented chord. Now, augmented chords, the way our ear hears them, you could substitute some augmented chords for other augmented chords. And what I mean by that, very simply, is that they have certain notes in there that repeat as you go up and down the neck. So if I was to play, let's say an F augmented, which is way down here, right? F augmented. I could come up, they sound the same, except that they're positioned higher on the neck. And so basically what you can do, although I always like to play it in the #1 position, you know, as close to down the neck as possible. But if you happen to be playing in the key of A and you don't want to play down here and do that, you might be here. That's fine. But let me show you one more time. Here's an F augmented. Now let's count that as being a first position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you go up 5 steps on the neck, that's your substitute augmented chord that will work just as well as this. And up 5 again. Okay, 5 more. So there we have 3 different places that you could play an augmented chord that would basically have the same name, F augmented. Now, if you came up here, since there's an A note in it, you also could call that an A augmented. Because before, where were we? We were here doing it as an A chord, and then I went, so that's an A augmented, which is the same as the first position. So if I went, instead of doing, I could do, still works. So just something I wanted to throw out to you. It's again something that you don't see a lot, but if you know it, it surely helps. And we're going to do the same thing going down the road with diminished chords, because they kind of work the same way as well. So hang on a second, I'm going to try to get a tight shot on my hand so you can see what's going on down here. Okay, so I am on the C chord way up the neck, playing a C chord out of the F finger positioning. Okay, so had I been all the way down here to play an F chord, so I'm up here at C. Okay, so we said that C, D, E, F, C, D, E, F, G. G is the 5th in this chord. And this is the G. That's your 5th. We want to raise that by a half step right there. So C natural. There's your C augmented. Now I raised it again. Now I'm playing a C6 chord. And then raise it again. That becomes a C7 or a C dominant 7. Same thing. So the main lesson here is to learn about augmenteds, but what's cool is every time you raise that 5th, another half step, you are getting another chord. So down here, it's a C, C augmented, C6, C7, okay? Pretty cool. And again, you can do it anywhere you want. So if I go down to the G, or let's say F even, right here. Okay? So just remember, your augmented chords is what our lesson is for today. I hope this helps you out, and have a good day.